Hi there, Moffett Elementary School. This is Dr. Remland. I was a principal there about 8 years ago, and I loved my time at Moffett, and I loved the students and I loved the teachers at Moffett. And when I left Moffett to go a little closer to home, I was given this book by Miss Laura. She's the librarian there, A Fine, Fine School by Sharon Creech. I'm going to read it today, okay? A Fine, Fine School by Sharon Creech. Oh, it's dedicated to Lyle, a fine, fine headmaster. Mr. Keene. Mr. Keene was a principal who loved his school. Every morning he strolled down the hallway. He saw children in their classes. He saw them learning shapes and colors and numbers and letters. He saw them reading and writing, drawing and painting. He saw them making dinosaurs and forts and pyramids. Oh, he would say, aren't these fine children? Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school? But near Mr. Keene's school, Tilly lived with her parents and her brother and her dog Beans in a small house next to a big tree. On Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Now at school, Tilly learned her shapes and colors and numbers and letters, and sometimes when she saw Mr. Keene standing in the hallway, he waved. Aren't these fine children? He said to himself. Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school? Now on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, Tilly climbed her favorite tree. Help, I'm stuck. And she took Beans on walks and threw him sticks. Let go now, Beans. And she pushed her brother on a swing and tried to teach him how to skip. Be one with the skip. Skipping. Good times. Now, but on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Beans and her brother did not like to see her go. Hurry, hurry, hurry home, her brother would call. They get along well, don't they? That's good. Oh, Beans is waving with his coffee. Now, one day, Mr. Keene called all the students and teachers together and said, this is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Saturdays, too. The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and all the learning they were doing every day. The teachers don't look excited, do they? Would you be excited to go to school on Saturday? So that Saturday, Tilly set off for school. But it's Saturday. What about the swings, her brother called. Look at that, it's Beans mowing the yard. Wow. The following month, Mr. Keene announced, this is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Sundays, too. The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Sundays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and of all the learning they were doing every day. Oh boy, they were sad, aren't they? School on a Sunday, too. And so that Sunday, Tilly set off for school. But it's Sunday. What about skipping, her brother called. Yeah, it's not going to happen, is it? Oh, Beans is reading the paper. Smart dog. Now, the following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, this is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on holidays too. On Easter and Ramadan and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah, on all the holidays on every calendar. The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on the holidays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keen that. He was so proud of all the children and the teachers and all the learning they were doing every day. Wow. They don't look excited, do they? Nope. And so on Christmas, yes, even Christmas, Tilly set off for school. But it's Christmas. What about Christmas? Her brother called. And Beans was even giving her a present. Oh, man. Now, the following month, Mr. Keen called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school in the summer, too. All summer long, every single day." Oh, he's even got a button that says summer school is cool. Now, how much will we learn? He said. We can learn everything. We will learn all about our numbers and letters, colors and shapes. The Romans, the Egyptians, and the Greeks. We'll learn about dinosaurs and castles and everything. We will learn everything. I think they're actually crying. One student actually passed out there. Oh no. So the teachers and the students did not want to go to summer school on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays and all summer long, every single day. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keen that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers and of all the learning they were doing every day. But they're so sad now. Oh. And so on the first day of summer, Tilly set off for school. But it's summer. What about summer? Her brother called. And my favorite, there's Beans, the lifeguard dog. And that day, Tilly went to see Mr. King. Tilly stood in his office in front of his desk. "What a fine, fine school this is," Mr. King said. "What amazing things everyone is learning." "Yes," Tilly said. "We certainly are learning some amazing things. A fine, fine school," Mr. King said. "But," Tilly said, "not everyone is learning." Oh boy. "What?" Mr. King said. He looked very worried. Who isn't learning? Tell me, and I will see that they learn." "My dog Beans. Beans has not learned how to sit," Tilly said. "And he hasn't learned how to jump over the creek." "Oh," Mr. Keen said. "And my little brother, he hasn't learned how to skip." "Oh," Mr. Keen said. "And I," she said. "But you go to school," Mr. Keen said, "to our fine, fine school." "True," Tilly said, "but I haven't learned how to climb very high in my tree. And I haven't learned how to sit in my tree for a whole hour." "Oh," Mr. Keen said. Beans knitting. That's one smart doggy. So that day, Mr. Keen walked up and down the halls, looking at the children and the teachers. Up and down he walked, up and down, up and down. You look happy? No, I don't think so. So that next morning, Mr. Keen called everyone together. The children and the teachers were very worried. Mr. Keen said, "This is a fine, fine school with fine, fine children and fine, fine teachers. But not everyone is learning." The children and the teachers looked very, very worried. Uh-oh. Mr. Keen said, There are dogs who need to learn how to sit and how to jump creeks. What do they mean? Were there dogs who didn't have to come to school? There are little brothers and sisters who need to learn how to swing or how to skip. What do they mean? Was it going to make their younger brothers and sisters come to school too? The children and the teachers were very, very, very worried. Very, very, very worried. They were really worried. And Beans, he's writing on the board. He's writing sentences, a smart dog. And you, all of you children and teachers, you need to learn how to climb a tree and sit in it for an hour, Mr. Keene said. Now all the children and the teachers were very, very worried. Wow. And so from now on, we will, what are they going to do? What's he going to say? Let's find out. Not have school on Saturdays or Sundays or holidays or in the summer. And at that, a huge, enormous, roaring cheer went out. It soared up to the ceiling and floated out the window so that everyone in the town heard those fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers shout, fine, fine, fine. That's happy kids right there. And the fine, fine children and the fine, fine teachers lifted Mr. Keene up, and they carried him down the hallway and out the doors and through the town and up and down and in and out. And everywhere they went, the people said, what a fine, fine school with such fine, fine teachers and fine, fine children and a fine, fine principal. The end. Guys, you have a very fine, fine school with a very fine, fine principal and assistant principal. And Moffett always pulled the place right here in my heart. You guys, I hope you enjoyed this book. And please stay safe, stay healthy, and don't forget to wash your hands. This is Dr. Remland. Have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.